When most ponies thought about royalty, their thoughts would usually immediately think about a fancy life filled with nothing but carefree and self-indulgence. It was a life that so many ponies dreamed of having, yet only a select few were ever given a chance at actually living it. Guards at your service, things hoofed over to you at your command, and in some rare cases, immortality. It was a life that simply didn't seem to have any flaws, nor worries. To Princess Celestia, however, it was almost the complete opposite. She did have royalty, she did have power, and she did have respect. Yet all at the same time, she had nothing. To herself, she was nothing any more special than any other pony. The princess sighed to herself as she walked over to one of the palace's many large windows and peered outside into the bright day, watching as the ponies of Canterlot lived their day with the life that she thought would never be so desirable, especially to her. However, it wasn't exactly the royalty that seemed to bother the princess so much, as it was having no pony to share it with, or in this case, nothing. Like most other ponies, Celestia knew what love was, and boy did she ever experience it. She was once in love. She too once had some pony to hold on to whenever she was down, or simply just needed the embrace. She too was some pony who had a life that she never thought would end. She, just like any pony else, once lived a happy life. But that was all gone now. Her heart had already been broken ages ago, and she feared that no pony would ever be able to heal it. Almost every day, the princess would practically fake her happiness, unknown by the residents of Canterlot, of course. Her smiles nowadays were nothing more than simple acts to get through the day. Her strolls through town ended up being walks to ease and calm her mind. Her daily routines of greeting other important ponies of Canterlot became conversations to help clear her mind. Eventually, everything that the princess did were things to simply help her forget him. Unfortunately for her, it was never that simple, and she knew that it never would be, no matter how hard she tried. It was all in vain. She let a single tear roll down her cheek as she turned away from the window. One of the guards had just come in to tell her of some sort of new pony that has come to town, and how they were honored to live here in Canterlot along with her. How surprising, she thought. She simply nodded in affirmation to the guard, acknowledging him of his words. She sighed again. It was then that the princess made her way outside into her royal garden, where her many flowers and bushes blossomed with life. She couldn't help but chuckle to herself. At least the plants were faring better than her. She slowly walked through the garden and let her mind race to the life that she once had. The life that every pony would experience at some point in their lives. Love. Even just thinking about it made the princess both happy and sad, all at the same time. Her perception of the emotion was almost incomprehensible, as if she herself didn't quite know the true meaning of it. The princess kept walking until she reached the very reason that she had even come to this garden in the first place. She stopped and looked up into the gray, hard eyes of the one that she had once loved so long ago, the one that she thought of spending the rest of her life with. There, before her, was the statue of discord, the element of chaos. The princess kept looking into the lifeless eyes and let herself shed another tear. Why did you have to be the element of chaos? She thought. Why did I have to fall in love with you, even though I knew of the consequences? Why was I such a fool? The princess kept asking herself similar questions for a few more moments, almost as if she wanted to feel guilt and self-pity. She eventually came to the point where she silently sobbed as she continued to look up at the statue, almost as if she were expecting it to move or to come to life. But as much as she wanted it to, she knew that would never happen. What Discord has become is far too dangerous to even risk bringing back to life. The love that she once shared with him was something that she was just going to have to forget. It pained her to think such, but it was true. She was simply just going to have to move on. The princess gave one final look into Discord's eyes. "I know you can't hear me, but I just want to let you know that what we once had was special. I will never feel the same way toward any pony else as I have felt toward you. You may have been the opposite of me in terms of elemental placement, but even so, that didn't stop us from falling in love. Well, at least for a short while," she said, hanging her head down low at the last part of the sentence. With one final tear, she turned away and began walking back to her palace. She didn't realize how long she had been in the garden until she saw just how dark it had gotten. As she neared her palace, unbeknownst to her, a single shred of water emanated from the already phlegmatic statue's left eye and made its way down its face. It may have been a chaotic love, but it was still love nonetheless.